Working with Trados is simple. Today I will show you how to add and remove working language pair. Trados Studio freelance version has 5 working language pairs. You can choose up to 5 working language pairs, while for professional version you can have many working language pairs, more than 5 working language pairs. To choose to add and remove, we go to Tool option, language pairs. You can see on the right hand side you have the option to add and remove. To remove, you select remove, yes. To add, we select here and choose the language pair. Okay. Done. That's so simple. Thank you for the attention.